What's going on, Sports Wars? This is Ryan with RK Outpost and GeeksandGamers.com, and the Washington Post article about Dan Snyder and the Washington Redskins has finally dropped. We had all these crazy rumors going on all night long about this article. It's gonna come out. It's gonna paint Dan Snyder in bad light. It's gonna destroy him. It's gonna make him sell the Redskins. And it turns out that what is alleged in this article is bad as far as a workplace environment goes. But it's not near like the things we heard going on last night. All these rumors that came out. So we're going to take a look at this article, what it means, and we're going to see what everyone was talking about and how everyone was so wrong and how this is spread like wildfire. You can see right here, Washington Post, exclusive. 15 women who worked for Redskins allege sexual harassment by former scouts and members of owner Dan Snyder's inner circle. So now 15 women who worked for the Redskins. It should be noted that not a single one of these allegations is against Dan Snyder himself, yet Dan Snyder's been at the forefront of all of this. Obviously, Dan Snyder has been a huge target lately in the aftermath of deciding to change the Redskins team name. There's some theories as to why this is happening right now. Again, we'll get to that later. But this does a pretty good job of summing up a lot of what the bigger takeaways are in this really long, really well-researched article. Washington Post article makes no specific allegations against Daniel Snyder from PFT. The bombshell article from the Washington Post painting a troubling picture of workplace misconduct and chronic sexual harassment within the Redskins organization specifically makes no allegations against team owner Dan Snyder. Here's the key quote from the story regarding the 15 former female employees who alleged sexual harassment. No women accused Snyder or former long-term president Bruce Allen of inappropriate behavior, but they expressed skepticism the men were unaware of the behavior they allege. So there's not even any proof that they knew about this happening. All there is, well, they had to have known because they're in charge, I suppose. The skepticism is justified given that, and that's the other thing, 14 of these 15 women remained anonymous. Only one of them, Miss Applegate, who we'll talk a little bit about, actually went on the record with her story. 14 of 15 women refused to be identified due to fears of litigation arising from NDAs that include express threats of legal reprisals. It's possible, if not likely, that Snyder knew about any complaints that would have been made to support the severance agreements containing a confidentiality clause. Who knows what these NDAs could be about? It could just be when you leave the Redskins organization, they have you sign some sort of non-disparagement agreement. Who knows? Nobody knows, and that's the thing. It's all still speculation. That said, it's possible that each and every one of the 14 agreements was a general and perfunctory document signed by employees in exchange for severance pay, independent of these specific claims, just like I said. Although Snyder was never the target of any allegations, the question becomes to what extent Snyder, as the leader, is responsible for the behavior of his executives. Basically, he's the one that sets the tone, so he's the one we should hold responsible. And right now, if you go to Twitter and you search Snyder, you can see that there are people that are just absolutely blasting him, that are telling, oh, Dan Snyder needs to give up his ownership. He needs to be forced out. This is not actual SportsCenter. This is real. They're saying that he needs to be forced out because all of these women over the course of 14 years were sexually harassed at the workplace. We're going to get into some specifics of exactly who did that. Here you go. Michael, the senior vice president of content and the voice of the Washington Redskins. Seven employees said he routinely discussed the physical appearance of female colleagues in sexual and disparaging overtones. In 2018, he was caught on a hot mic speaking about the attractiveness of a college-age intern, according to 6 employees. He declined an interview. He quit right before this dropped. Santos, the club's director of pro personnel, was accused by 6 former employees of making inappropriate remarks about their bodies and asking them if they were romantically interested in him. Here's the thing with all of this. It does all require context, and we're going to take a look at a couple of screenshots of a conversation that goes into a little more detail of one of these. You can decide for yourself how over the line it is. But Santos has also been fired. Richard Mann, assistant director of pro personnel, the one in the text message that we're going to see, said he and his colleagues debated whether her breasts had been surgically enhanced and told someone to expect an inappropriate hug. He was fired last week. Dennis Green, former president of business operations, implored female sales staff to wear low-cut blouses and tight skirts to flirt with wealthy suite holders. He was fired in 2018 after a revelation he sold access to Redskins cheerleaders, including attendance at a bikini calendar photo shoot as part of a premium sales package. Mitch Gershman, former COO, who Applegate said routinely berated her for trivial problems such as printer malfunctions while also complimenting her body. 2 other female employees supported Applegate's account of sexual harassment and verbal abuse by Gershman, who left the team in 2015. These things span over like a decade and a half, from like 2006 to now. That's when all of these allegations are taking place. I did want to show you this text message conversation that they're talking about. This is between Richard Mann and a former Redskins employee. Richard Mann is in the gray. The female employee is in the blue. Nice shirt. Lol, thanks. Lol, sorry, inside joke. It's a compliment. What's the joke? Nothing, it's stupid. You look great today, that's all. I want to be in on these jokes. Lame boob joke. I figured that much. No offense, sorry. Real or fake is the debate. Then it skips to a different conversation. Her texting him saying, bring me food. I hurt. Ha ha. Okay, do you want Jimmy John's? OMG, I love the beach club. If I bring it, I want to squeeze your butt. Deal. No, lol. They're messing around. He continues to take a little far. He says, it's kind of far as F though. Do you tip the delivery guy? She says, haha, I'm hungry. Was supposed to have family lunch, but granddad couldn't get out of his neighborhood. That sucks. I'm squeezing your ass. Sorry. She says, nope. He says, it's not like it's that big of a deal. It's innocent. All right. That is this conversation. That was the sexual harassment that she is alleging. And then we also have something I wanted to talk about that does directly involve Dan Snyder. Again, none of these allegations, but this. The story mentions that Snyder routinely belittled top executives. According to 3 former members of his executive staff, perhaps most intensely Dennis Green, someone who's also named in the harassment suit, or in the harassment claims. Dennis Green, the former sales executive whom Snyder mocked for having been a male cheerleader in college. I guess I shouldn't be laughing at that. After one executive staff meeting, according to one former employee, Green said Snyder had ordered him to do cartwheels for their entertainment. According to an inside source, this is talking about whether Snyder will be allowed to continue as the NFL owner. He's going to feel a lot of pressure. One source with extensive knowledge regarding the manner with NFL franchises operates observed. There's a lot to take in this thing. Dan Snyder is going to feel a lot of pressure. The reason this is happening is because Dan Snyder has been so vigilant about the Redskins name in the past. He's refused to change it. Now, after last week, he says, all right, we're finally going to change it, but that's not enough. It's not enough for someone to say that they're going to change the team name. No, he has to give up his ownership. You can see here Pat McAfee. This is a freaking awesome take from McAfee. The disturbing details about the workplace environment for the females who came forward were alarming. It has to change. It can't be like that. There was a lot being alleged to be in that article that ended up not being there. There was no mention of drug or alcohol abuse, no Dan Snyder involvement other than gross negligence, no ref payments, no mention of Jay Gruden, no sex party mentions. Terrible culture for sure, but the internet and sources were very wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? These were the things that were flying around all last night. Rumblings of damning report on the Redskins. Everybody knew this was coming. All the media people got this all hyped up. Let these rumors swirl. Never tried to correct them. Just said, oh yeah, you guys will see. Look at this one. Dan Snyder and Jay Gruden pimped cheerleaders, held sex parties, abused drugs, and did nude cheerleader photo shoots and sold their own tickets on StubHub. None of that was alleged in this article. Right here is where the fixing games comes in. Fixed games and some refs have made over $2 million from Snyder. He also not the only NFL owner to pay officials. Talking about Jay Gruden being involved in pimping cheerleaders. None of this was in the article. All stuff that was floating around all last night that some of these journalists perpetuated. That didn't happen. So what did happen are these 15 women that came forward saying over the past 14 years they have experienced sexual harassment. And now everyone thinks that Dan Snyder should be fired. Whether you do or not, I guess that's up to you. But it should be clear that what we thought was going to come out in this article, any connection to someone named Epstein, none of that happened. It was workplace environment. So it's up to you whether you think that that should be enough to force a man to sell his multi-million-dollar multi-hundred million dollar NFL franchise. The fact that it comes from the Washington Post, who is owned by Jeff Bezos, who also owns Amazon, who may have been expressing interest in buying the Washington Redskins, should also be noted. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments below. Make sure you smash a like button, subscribe to Sports Wars, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I will talk to you later.